As humans, we are so used to thinking that we are in control of this planet. We can terraform our landscapes and build structures as big as you can imagine. Aside from providing needed resources, these things give us a feeling of power over our environment. But every once in a while, Mother Nature decides to show us who's really in charge. From lava destroying everything in its path to a tornado ripping a house off of a roof, here are 5 times Mother Nature got revenge. Alaska is home to some of the most beautiful landscapes that Earth has to offer. Huge, towering mountains that stretch across hundreds of thousands of square miles make it almost entirely untamed and untouched by humans. Strewn across the state are a number of glaciers, huge columns of ice that slowly travel for miles until they reach the ocean. Once they do, the ice may start to melt, crack, and break under its own weight, creating some truly breathtaking displays. But don't get too close, or things could go terribly wrong. The kayakers in this video were enjoying a day of exploring Alaska's coast when they came up to the edge of this glacier. As you can see, there's a very tempting bridge in the ice that opens up into a scenic lagoon. At one point, the 2 men say they were thinking about going through there, but were stopped by loud sounds of cracking. Instead, they kept their distance and waited for the inevitable collapse. When the bridge finally did collapse, the kayakers realized they hadn't given themselves enough distance. The splash generated from the ice falling into the water was immense and sprayed each of the men with incredible force. It seems they may not have realized what sort of danger they were really in. There have been documented incidents of sightseeing tours witnessing an ice collapse and getting pelted with huge chunks of ice as the spray hit them. It's nature's way of reminding us that what can seem quite beautiful and mesmerizing can also be incredibly deadly. Many times when we think about natural disasters, our minds tend to go towards something that's related more to weather. Hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, all of these are definitely scary. But through the study of meteorology, we can at least predict when these things will occur, giving us a chance to get out of the way. It's quite a different story when these natural disasters aren't related to the weather, but to the Earth itself. Hawaii is a perfect example of this. This island state is one of the most volcanically active places on Earth. On this day in 2018, thick lava flows made their way towards heavily populated areas of the island, progressing at a slow and steady pace. The people who lived in its path didn't have much time to evacuate. As you can see in the video, the lava could not be stopped and continued its way forward, enveloping a Mustang in the process. While the owner of this vehicle definitely should have moved their car, imagine the helplessness that the homeowners must have felt as they watched this lava flow encroach upon their property. Something moving this slow is easy to run away from, but in the back of your mind, you know that your home and most of your belongings will surely be destroyed. There is one weather event that happens in America more than any other place in the world: tornadoes. The central states, as well as some close to the Mississippi River, all exist in what is known as Tornado Alley, and the weather events that happen here can be catastrophic. On this day in April of 2018, just as the spring season was taking hold in the town of Meridian, Mississippi, a strong storm began to develop. The family recording this video got news that a tornado warning was in effect. When the wind started to pick up, they grabbed their camera and started filming. Little did they know, the tornado was headed right for them. Then, as the camera focused across the street, the wind tore the roof right off the house, sending it flying into the air. Only a few seconds later, the wind died down as if nothing had ever happened. This is a prime example of the power that tornadoes possess. These large funnels of wind reach down from the clouds, turning it up to 300 miles per hour in the worst cases. In this case, the tornado wasn't nearly that strong, which is the scariest part of it all. It shows the power behind what would be considered a weak twister and gives us an idea for what is actually possible when things are at their worst. In thunderstorms, powerful updrafts of air carry rain into the extremely cold areas of the atmosphere where it freezes, turning into hail. When the updrafts can no longer support the weight of the hailstones, the ice falls back down to the earth, resulting in devastating hailstorms. On a July afternoon in 2016, the residents of Dixon, North Dakota were preparing for a powerful thunderstorm system to move through their area. But they weren't exactly prepared for what would accompany the storm. I've got to say, I've been in a bad hailstorm before, but it was nothing close to the power of this.
Hailing! Big hail! Holy I got hit in the leg. Ah! Wow! Holy those some rough! Oh! Ow! Shit! Holy fuck!
As the video starts rolling, the wind picks up and the rain gets heavier. More and more chunks of ice fall, gradually getting larger in diameter. Suddenly, everything turns to chaos. As the stones tear through the trees, they strip it of leaves and branches. Anything that is outside in a storm like this is likely to have some level of damage, especially cars. This is one of the worst tricks Mother Nature can play on unsuspecting people. Just one look at the ground at the end of the video will tell you everything you need to know about the power and destruction hail can bring. Luckily, no one in this video was hurt. There were, however, massive amounts of property damage reported, from torn-up roofs to vehicles that looked as if they had been shot with bullets. Dams are one of the most amazing feats of engineering that humans have created. Some of the ones that were built in modern times can measure hundreds of feet high, stretch for thousands of feet across, and hold back entire lakes of water. The reservoirs that are sometimes created from these dams can change an entire ecosystem, allowing for cities that would otherwise be unable to exist. But dams are not a new thing. The first dams were built by ancient Egyptians between 2950 and 2750 BC. Since then, they have obviously gotten more advanced. Yet, as with anything of this magnitude, the smallest problem can yield deadly consequences. In 1889, the South Fork Dam, located on the south form of the Little Conemaugh River, held back Lake Conemaugh to create a scenic reservoir which attracted fishermen and hunters from all around. It was a 72-foot high and 931-foot long earthenwork dam that always seemed to be in a state of disrepair. Leaks were constantly found and patched up. At the time, it always seemed to fix the problem. But unbeknownst to many who lived downstream, the worst was yet to come. On May 31st of that year, after several days of incredibly heavy rainfall, the dam ruptured, releasing 14.55 million cubic meters of water that all flowed downriver towards the city of Johnstown, Pennsylvania. The residents of the city were taken completely by surprise. A massive flood with a flow rate that matched that of the Mississippi River engulfed the town, taking the lives of over 2,200 people and doing $17 million in damages, which is about $490 million in today's economy. The American Red Cross, led by Clara Barton, undertook the relief efforts. Support came in from all over the country and from 18 other countries. It was one of the first events that highlighted the need for the American Red Cross. Since then, there have been numerous dam failures all across the world. Even the world's largest dam, the Three Gorges, has faced the threat of failure from too much water. It goes to show that even our most impressive and technologically advanced builds are always at the mercy of Mother Nature. Our planet is a beautiful yet unforgiving place, and seeing moments like these really helps to drive that fact home. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more just like it, be sure to click the link on screen now. With that, thanks for watching, and tune in next time.